Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. My name is Alisa Slodzinska, and I work for the City of Chicago Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection, BACP. Welcome to the BACP Business Education Workshop Webinar Series. We have adapted our regular business education workshops at City Hall into these webinars until further notice. On behalf of our Commissioner, Rosa Escarino, I want to inform you that business licenses can be processed online where applicable by visiting chicagobusinessdirect.org. And any websites and email addresses that I mention, I will put them in the chat box so you'll be able to reference them there. And if you are part of the BACP Entrepreneur Certificate Program, you can get credit for joining this webinar by sending an email to bacpoutreach@cityofchicago.org. If you want to learn about the program, please visit chicago.gov/business-education. To help guide your business and employees during Phase 4 of Chicago's reopening process, please visit chicago.gov/reopening. Also, BACP and the City of Chicago's Office of Emergency Management and Communications created ShyBiz emergency alerts. You can opt in to receive targeted emergency alerts for the business community. If you are interested, please visit chicago.gov/ShyBizAlerts. And we encourage attendees to ask questions. We will have a question and answer session at the end of the webinar. Please use the chat box to ask your question and send the question to all panelists. And today's webinar will be Business Licensing 101, presented by BJ Parker of the Small Business Center, a division of the Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection. Welcome, BJ.
Thank you, Alisa. And good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for attending Business Licensing 101. And on behalf of Mayor Lori Lightfoot, Rosa Escarino, our Deputy Commissioner, and our Commissioner, and our Deputy Commissioner, Matthew Alley, I am very, very happy that you are able to attend this all-important workshop. So let's get started. Today we will be talking about what is the role of business affairs and consumer services, and particularly the Small Business Center, about business licensing, how to obtain a business license, apply for a business license. We'll go through the requirements for zoning and inspections, how to avoid those common pitfalls, as well as our public way use permit and the intake center and other small business center resources. And as Alisa stated, Q&A at the end. So let's talk a little bit about BACP, Business Affairs and Consumer Protection. One of the things that we do in total as a department is BACP licenses businesses and public vehicles. BACP provides business education and access to resources. BACP enforces the municipal code and protects consumers from fraud through our attorneys and our investigations unit. Also, under BACP is the Small Business Center, and we're responsible for the business licensing division of BACP, of licensing and permits. And we like to consider ourselves a one-stop shop for those businesses. So what do I mean when I say a one-stop shop? Ideally, under normal circumstances, you would come to the department for any kind of new business license applications or changes to your existing information on your account with the City of Chicago. As well as we provide case management. So myself as well as my colleagues are your single point of contact. We also assist business owners to navigate through city processes and resources through inspections, our finance department, as well as adjudicate through our administrative hearing division. Also, we provide public way use permits. And our unit, we have where you can apply for those public way use permits, as well as make any changes to the existing permit that you may hold currently. So, given that City Hall is closed right now to the public, we are actually performing critical licensing activities. So when we look at, as you can see from the presentations, quite a few services that we offer. So for instance, our zoning representatives, we have real-time zoning review of all applications. Any person who desires to launch a business in the city of Chicago will go through our zoning review. And that would include any kind of ZBA, relief, special use, variances, and so forth, as well as a consultation with the Chicago Department of Public Health, Health Sanitarian, who provides consultation on food-related business license applications, like retail food licenses such as restaurants, our mobile food trucks, as well as we provide fingerprint background checks through our criminal history unit. And that is definitely an added service that we provide our business owners. So currently, the self-service kiosk and our solution station, of course, they are closed to the public, but as Elisa mentioned in her opening, we're still providing the education workshops and also actually adding even more workshops as a result of everything moving online currently. So as we move to the next slide, I want to talk a little bit about what tips we have when you come to the department. Because we are a government agency, we are limited in the guidance we can provide, but we do like to encourage everyone who walks through the door or applies online is to have a business plan of some sort. It doesn't have to be a 50-page document. It can be a one-sheeter with your really just thinking through what is it I want to do, because that would assist us in helping you determine the license that you may need. So try to be as clear as possible regarding the business activity that you would like to have licensed when you come to the department. And so also we have workshops that we do provide, and I'm sure they will be on the roster of how to write a business plan. So we encourage everyone definitely to take advantage of all of the resources that we have available for you. So most businesses operating in Chicago require a City of Chicago issued business license. Now, there are some exemptions. For instance, doctors or CPAs or attorneys or architects. However, we also do not license some of our trade customers. Those are licensed through the Department of Buildings, such as electricians, plumbers, general contractors, and masons. But most of the other businesses that are operating, we can assist in your endeavors. So one of the things that we did in 2013, we had a license reduction initiative to help as much as possible the reduction of so many licenses per business. And so we have a 3-tiered licensing structure. For instance, our limited licenses are for like all of your retail stores, such as your office supply stores or any kind of laboratories or real estate brokers. And then we have what we call our regulated business licenses. So those are our home repair businesses, home occupation, board up, expediters, hotels. They all fall under our regulated business licenses. And then, of course, lastly, we have our specialized licenses: food, liquor, tobacco, animal care, child care, massage, public place of amusement. Those fall under our specialized license categories. And the other thing that we started is an emerging business permit. And that is to help facilitate new business ideas and concepts. We have so many creative people in Chicago who come to us with excellent new business ideas. And we try to help facilitate those ideas and concepts and allow them time to develop and evolve over time, as well as allow city departments and the city council to work with those businesses to determine which regulations are required. We, in fact, are a regulatory body, so it is real critical, of course, that you have as much information as possible to work with the different departments. License fees. The other thing that we have, our limited business licenses and regulated business licenses are $250 for a 2-year term. Our specialty business license fees and terms vary. And you can get more information. There's a snapshot on this presentation about every specific license. Now, the other thing that we also want to make clear, any outstanding debt to the city must be paid or resolved before any type of renewal of a license or issuance of a new license, such as fines or parking tickets. And you can pay for that in the form of a check or a credit card. And now that most of our license activity is taking place over Chicago Business Direct, Chicago Business Direct has a feature that can facilitate payments as well. So let's talk about the 3 steps to obtaining a business license. What do? The first thing is determining how you want to operate. So that would be your legal entity. And step two would be registering that entity with the appropriate agency. And then step three, applying for your business license online or in person, but of course, online now until further notice. So let's look at some of the legal business entities. Of course, there's the sole proprietor, that individual who wishes to just run the business by themselves. Partnership, that's two or more people. A corporation, that's an independent legal entity owned by shareholders, as well as a limited liability company that features some of the same features of a corporation and the tax efficiencies and operational flexibility of a partnership. Again, I'm not an attorney, however, we have that information available for you. And lastly, our not-for-profit corporation. Those are corporations that conduct business for the benefit of the general public without a profit motive. So next, these are the agencies that are listed where you can find the information that's appropriate for you to register. So the Cook County Clerk, so if you have a distinctive name, especially as a sole proprietor or a partnership, and you would like to have that name and publish that name, you would go through the Cook County Clerk for assumed names. And you would go through the Illinois Secretary of State to register your corporation, your LLC, your not-for-profit, as well as you will need to register if you do decide on a corporation or an LLC or a not-for-profit. You would need to secure an employee identification number, which you can obtain through the the Internal Revenue Service. And then the Illinois Department of Revenue, that is the state agency where you can secure your Illinois business tax number. And that is critical, especially if you are deciding you want to sell something, goods, food, widgets in the city of Chicago, and the state of Illinois requires that. So how do you apply for a business license? Well, you would go to www.chicago.gov/SBC, which is Small Business Center, and apply for your business license. And what the beauty of applying online, the system is accessible anytime. And so that is, a really good thing, especially when you are maybe trying to spend a bit more time with family during this challenging time of being at home. So once City Hall reopens, you can, of course, apply in person, and we will have a walk-in schedule, and you can secure an appointment with a business consultant. So when we look at your applying for a business license, so one of the things that is helpful is make sure you have your business legal and doing business as, that's DBA, name, the owner information, legal entity. We do ask for your personal information. I know people sometimes think, Oh, why do you need my personal information? It is a requirement of the Municipal Code of Illinois, City of Chicago, that we have the ownership information. And also, of course, the location of your business, square footage is critical, because with some businesses, especially retail food establishments, the license fees are actually based on square footage. So that's critical. We also need you to describe, try to be as precise and concise as possible when you are describing your business activities. And we do need a valid government-issued photo ID from all of our applicants. And if applicable, we would need your Illinois Secretary of State file number. Now, your file number it's applicable for our customers who are corporations, limited liability companies, as well as not-for-profit organizations. Our federal employer identification number, that is a requirement for corporations, non-for-profits, LLCs. It is not a requirement for a sole proprietorship. However, you can provide it if you wish. And of course, as I stated, if you sell anything, you will need an Illinois Department of Revenue sales tax number. So some additional requirements, some of our business licenses require a fingerprint-based criminal background check on every owner, corporate officer, member, any person with a 5% to 25% or more interest, as well as site managers of the business. And this is especially applicable to our daycare facilities, our massage establishments, tobacco retailers, liquor establishments. Those are critical. And so one thing about our liquor licenses, they may require just a bit more information, so some of that can be not only the outdoor site plan, but the indoor floor plan, the corporate structure, who are all of the owners of the business. So we would need all of that corporate information. And I know sometimes a corporation may be the 100% shareholder for another corporation. So that is critical that we have all of that information, as well as financial disclosures, lease, proof of property ownership, general liability insurance. So all of this information is critical when obtaining this license. One of the things we want to remind you to do, because we see this happen so often, before you commit, before you sign your name on the dotted line to any location, make sure you check the location with the zoning department, especially research that location to see if the activity is allowed. I had a customer who identified a location, loved the location for their type of business. They placed a hold with the landlord, and then they decided, yes, they went into lease with the landlord, and then they decided, oh, we want to update this. So they placed their life savings into updating the location for their new business. Then they came to us. And the business was not allowed in the zone in which the building was located. The woman started weeping at my desk. And I felt really saddened for her, but they did everything that I am telling you now, do not do. Make sure that you check, do your due diligence with the business location. So you can certainly, it costs you nothing to enter the information, even if you want to apply, reach out to our zoning department and ask them, this is what I want to do. And they can get that information to you. Also, you can utilize the zoning map that is available online, as well as you may not be able at this time to schedule an appointment with a zoning reviewer, but we are available to you online, as well as you can always call our call center and we can get that message. So it's just everything is being facilitated online by email and phone. And when everything is open up, of course, you will be able to schedule an appointment. One of the things that has happened, and that is we continue to have on-site inspections. Those never stop. So for those businesses who were able to open and get their inspections, now we're still conducting inspections for our child care center, the restaurants, the massage establishment, anything that requires an on-site inspection. Our inspection department they have not faltered at all. They continue to conduct those inspections, and usually once an application is approved and the license is paid, usually an inspection can certainly happen within the next 10 days. So the Department of Buildings, and they have several divisions, as well as the Health Department and Fire Department conduct most of those inspections. So again, I want to repeat some of the common pitfalls that we see all the time is people will sign a lease without considering if there are any zoning or liquor license restrictions or public place of amusement restrictions. They'll start, as I mentioned to you, the client that I had that started construction, and without checking with the city first. The other thing that we will see, people will start construction, complete construction, and not even get a building permit. And also, they will think, oh, well, Susie operated a beauty salon. Why can't I operate a beauty salon now? Well, Susie left her business 5 years ago. She never renewed it. And so now this new person will need to go through new zoning designation. The other thing, the pitfall is you've got to pay your city debt, whatever that is. And there are many options through the Department of Finance for payment plans. And also, we really cannot stress enough the importance of looking at the location in which you are interested in to see, did they have any licensing issues, any building code violations? And also, it's critical. It is up to you to determine what licenses do I need. And we can, of course, assist you with that process. That's why it's so important for you to tell us every single activity that you wish to conduct at the location. And the other thing is that we see so often people will stop working in a business, decide, oh, I don't want to do this business anymore. And then they'll come back to us a few years later, oh, I want to open a new business. Well, we're happy. However, they never closed out their non-operational business site, and there may be debt. Maybe they didn't take down the canopy on the business or something that has caused now holes that they will need to resolve and challenges later. The other unit that is at the Small Business Center is our public way use unit. And the city streets and the parkways, sidewalks, anything that is considered that's over the doorway into public property is considered a public way and requires a public way use permit. And of course, if there's any type of people ask, well, why do I have to? Well, if we did not have a way of monitoring it, our sidewalks would be just filled with clutter and congestion, and we want to make sure everybody can walk safely and move safely. So some of the public way use examples, of course, are, canopies and awnings and balconies and light fixtures and signs and banners, and that's over the street, and our beautiful sidewalk cafes and planters and decorative pavers and bollards. So all of these are under our public way unit, and you will need a permit. So now our occupancy permit intake center is now on room 900 of City Hall. And they can walk you through your occupancy capacity sign that is critical, especially when you are embarking on opening a public place of amusement license or a liquor license establishment. You must go through and get an occupancy capacity sign and make sure that is covered. And in room 900, they can answer all of the basic permit questions and check on your applications, troubleshoot for you. And ending with, before we go into Q&A, just a way for you to know that there are many, many resources for you at chicago.gov/SBC. So financial assistance resources, as well as more of the business education options, neighborhood resources, training resources, hiring, Chicago Biz Hub as well. And also, please use our 312-74-GO-BIZ number, and you can schedule an appointment with myself or one of my colleagues, the zoning reviewer, the health sanitarian. Now, as I stated previously, you may not be able to, of course, right now until everything changes, to get an in-person, but we are scheduling phone appointments and are just available to assist you in your launching your entrepreneurial endeavor, because we are really committed to helping anyone to do that successfully. And so also, there are neighborhood business development centers throughout the city of Chicago, And most of our business organizations, chambers, they have business-to-business networking opportunity and just really there to assist you in any way possible to make sure that this endeavor is in fact a success. I thank you very, very much for your attention, and now I believe we're going to get into some of our question and answers.
Great, thank you. All right, I will have you muted, BJ, until it is time for you to respond, just so we don't have any background noise. We did get a good amount of questions coming through, and we will try and sort through them. First question is, how can one renew an expired business license when it is expired and when you do not have your password to log in to renew online?
Well, the first thing that you need to do is contact Chicago Business Direct so we, in fact, can assist you in resetting your password, number one. Number two, when you say you want to renew an expired business license, it depends on how long. Are we talking a couple months or a couple years? Because so often, if you are not renewing your license at the end of each expiration period, few months, yes, you can renew it. But so often people come to us 2 or 3 years later. If, in fact, it's 2, 3, 4 years later from the time in which you had your last business license, then you would need to reapply.
Next question, how do we access the zoning review portal since City Hall is closed?
You would call 312-74-GO-BIZ, which is 744-6249, and ask that a zoning reviewer email you or give you a phone call, and you can go over your questions or concerns with the reviewer.
Just a slight housekeeping announcement for those people who are part of the BACP Entrepreneur Certificate Program. You can get credit for joining this webinar by sending an email to bacpoutreach@cityofchicago.org. If you want to learn about the program, please visit chicago.gov/business-education. Now we have a few specific questions coming through. Where does consulting/training practice, home-based, fall on the 3-tiered licensing structure?
That would be a regulated business license. And if that is a home-based business, you must make sure you provide us with the exact activity that you are conducting at your home. If you're conducting or want to conduct workshops at your home, you will not be licensed for that activity. However, if you're just doing all of your program development, you're making calls, you're sending emails, and of course, you in fact can do that. If you're operating from a home, you can have 10% of the total square footage of your home not to exceed 200 square feet. Okay, if you are in a multi-unit building like an apartment or a condominium, you in fact can have 15% of the total square footage of your home to operate your home-based business, not to exceed 200 square feet. So, and that would be the regulated business license is $250 for a 2-year license. Also, we will need to make sure that you occupy the home, so we will need to see an ID with that home address in which you are applying for the business license.
Thank you. What tier would a cafe/retail store go under? Do we need to know that when applying?
Yes, we need to know the address, the square footage. We need to know the exact activity. When you say cafe/retail, what are you talking about? And let me tell you something about cafes when we're talking about food. All of our cafes, restaurants, they're inspected by the health department, and they have very strict guidelines. So if you are talking about you want to encompass a restaurant and a retail location, then we need to make sure they will look at, do you have the appropriate refrigeration, sinks, bathrooms? Are you preparing any food at the location? So it's real critical that you are as specific as possible. When you say retail, are you talking about a very small section of your restaurant or cafe that you're selling, I don't know, like T-shirts or mugs or something? So just make sure that you, in fact, are very, very clear and specific. The other thing that we will need to see is a drawing, because we will need to see, well, where is this business operating the cafe? Where is their kitchen? Where are their sinks? Where will they have the retail portion of that business? Thank you.
Is a laundromat considered to need a retail business license?
Yes, you will need, laundromats are limited business license, yes.
How do I find out if a business name is available for use, i.e. not used by another business in the marketplace?
Well, there are two ways. Number one, if you're thinking your business name is, and you're going to, in fact, incorporate or form an LLC, then you would go through the Illinois Secretary of State and you would look up, is this name available? The other way, if you're thinking, no, I'm not going to start a corporation, I'm not going to start an LLC, my name is Susie and I just want to have Susie's Caps. And so what you would need to do is to go to the assumed name unit of the Cook County Clerks, and you will go through that process. You would file with them, I want to start Susie's Caps. And then you would need to actually get an ad in the newspaper, and you would place the ad in a newspaper. You don't have to go to the most expensive newspaper in town. It could be like a supermarket newspaper with a small circulation. The point is, it has to run for 3 straight weeks. And then you go back to the clerk's office and you will get a certificate that now you can use Susie's T-shirts.
Okay, next question. I've just started the process for my business license. I'm a caterer, but I have a shared kitchen agreement. I'm not cooking in my home. Will an inspection be done and where? And we actually had another question come in about shared kitchen also, so can you talk about that?
Okay, with our shared kitchen users, this is what you will need in order to secure a shared kitchen license in the city of Chicago. We have 2 types of shared kitchen licenses. We have a short term that's 90 days, and that is, 90 calendar days. and that's $75. And we have a long-term shared kitchen user, that's 2 years, that's $330. You will need to provide us with the same information, whether you're short-term or long-term. What information is that? We must have a City of Chicago food service sanitation certificate. No substitutes. It must be a City of Chicago food service sanitation certificate. Secondly, we will need a menu with ingredients. You don't have to give us the last ingredient in your secret sauce, but the health sanitarian that's reviewing this application need as much information as possible. And thirdly, we need an agreement or a letter of intent between you and the prospective shared kitchen. Then you will provide us with that information. The health sanitarian will review everything that you have provided. And if everything looks good, then you will get a shared kitchen user badge. All of our shared kitchen users, even though you have your letter of intent with one of the shared kitchen operators in town, we use your home address in your account as the location of the business. Why do we do that? The number one reason we do that, especially with our 2-year shared kitchen users, you may decide, I have an agreement with BJ's shared kitchen. Well, you know what? I want an agreement with Susie's shared kitchen or this. So within your license period, you can actually have more than one agreement with more than one kitchen. So therefore, you can go to as many kitchens as you want within your license period. So if you have a 2-year period, and maybe because you have customers maybe on the west side or the north side or the south side, and you've identified a kitchen in each one of those sides of town, then you may say, you know what, I need to operate over here. You can do that. That's why the license is to the actual person and that's their home address. And the other thing in terms of inspections, you do not receive a shared kitchen license with a shared kitchen. The first thing we will check to see if they are licensed. If they are not licensed, then you, in fact, will be unable to secure a shared kitchen user license using that particular kitchen.
Great, thank you. Next question, we are a 501c3 organization that provides dance education and performance to the community. We have an EIN. What type of business license do we need?
You need to clarify what you're doing. What I mean by that, when you said that you're providing this to the community, any business can say that, oh, we're buying this to the community. Are you targeting young people? Is it adults? We need you to be a bit more specific. So, for instance, if you're doing dance classes for just everybody, so anybody can go and you teach them dance, okay, that's one license type. And so that actually would fall, that would be a limited business license. However, if you say, oh, well, yes, we teach adults, but really we primarily teach young people between 6 and 12, is 40% or more of our population in which we're serving, and the rest are adults. So then you would need a children's activity license. And that will require inspections by the fire department and the health department, and it's $165 for a 2-year license. Thirdly, when you say community, well, is this a community center? So that's why it's so important that you be real specific in what you're doing. If you're saying, no, we're just a non-for-profit, we're offering these dance classes to this group of people, then one of those two should suffice for you. And also we will need, of course, the location. Square footage is very, very, very important.
Thank you. Question is, if your business is service-based, do you need a license? And then we have multiple questions about service-based businesses. One asking about, what about personal trainers that work with clients from their homes and don't have a location and are not online?
Okay, when you say service-based businesses, if you are conducting business in the city of Chicago, you need a business license. So let's talk about services. So let's talk about the personal trainer businesses that may go to someone's home. First of all, when you come to us and you say, I am a home-based business, and I'm going to go over to Susie's house and teach her personal training, what we would need to know, what are you doing at your home? You cannot have clients come to your house for the personal training activity. We do not license that activity. We do license, however, if you're using your home strictly as your administrative office and you're scheduling your clients, and then you go meet them out in the park, which I see a lot of people are doing, out in the park, in their front yard. Well, that's a service. The other service, people who provide bookkeeping, people who maybe design websites, people who provide business consulting, people, any kind of service, then you in fact would need to secure a business license in the city of Chicago.
Great. Next question, our business closed in March for COVID. Our lease ran out and we will not reopen at that location. We plan to reopen at a new location in 4 to 5 months. We have a business license and will need a new one due to the new address. Is this correct?
Yes, you will need, so what you will need to do, you will need to reach out to us. You will need to close that business that you in fact have not been operating since March. And when you are ready to launch your new business, and here's the other thing. If you decide, for instance, you're operating under Susie's LLC, and you close the business in March because of COVID, or you're closing it, but you're going to reopen in February at another location, but you're still going to use the same corporate information, of course you can do so, but I would encourage you to close out that business. Make sure if there are any fees that they want to hold you liable for or anything of that nature, make sure that all of that is taken care of, because I know that the department had provided some extensions to people in terms of if they had to close and then they're reopening. We had provided an extension in terms of when their license fees would be due. But if you are in fact not going to operate until a few months from now, I strongly encourage you to close that out, so there will be no holes or anything on your account. So when you do decide to reopen in 4 or 5 months, you should be good to go. Make sure you check out the location in which you would like to reopen the business at the new location with our zoning rep to make sure that you can conduct that activity at the new location. And I wish you well.
Next question, what are the laws and regulations for cooking food in your home and delivering it?
It's illegal in the city of Chicago. That's why we have the shared kitchen opportunity, because that's an opportunity for those persons who enjoy cooking and want to create a business. They must do it per health department, the health department code. They must cook the food in a commercial kitchen. We cannot license anyone who is preparing food in their homes.
Okay, thank you. What kind of license is needed for online businesses selling products, digital products, as well as handmade products?
Okay, for our online sales, I think in one of those pages in the presentation, I talked about the information that you would need to provide us. So if you're going to be a sole proprietor or LLC corporation, and you decide, oh, I'm going to go online to sell the handmade scarves or widgets, whatever the case may be, and I'm going to maybe place them on Etsy, or you can do that from your home. With products and online sales, what zoning will ask, well, where are you storing all of this stuff? Because what we've got to really drive home to those people in the community who would like to operate from their homes, that's fine. And I'm sure we will see more and more of that. However, we do not want anything to interfere with the quality of life for people in a residential community. So because your neighbors will come to the Department of Business Affairs and say, you know what, that joker next door, they have people coming in and out all day and they're operating a business. That's why we are very clear in the amount of square footage you can use in the home for the business. If you are making things and posting them on an Etsy or online sales of widgets, we then will need to ask you, okay, you can do that. Show us a storage agreement where you are storing this stuff. Because, as I said, we want to make sure that a residential community remains a residential community for your neighbors, and we want you to exercise the opportunity to be able to operate an online business.
Next question, I operate my business at flea markets. Do I need a license for each of those markets? What address do I use for the license application?
Yes, you do, because, so I know they have that one market at 4100, I think, South Ashland. So if you've got a kiosk or a storage or a table there inside there, you would need a license in order to operate there. And then if you go to another, remember, this is all in the city of Chicago. If they have flea markets outside of the city of Chicago, we do not regulate that. So I want to be, and I should have maybe said this earlier, but I'm saying it now. So we regulate city of Chicago businesses. We do not regulate those businesses outside of Chicago unless you are like a home repair person. Yes, and you're going to operate in Chicago, but you're in Maywood, you would need a Chicago business license, number one. And so number two, getting back to the flea markets, yes, if you're operating at numerous flea markets within the city of Chicago, you will need a limited business license for the retail that you're doing at each one of those locations.
Am I correct to assume the inspections do not happen until the build-out is complete?
Well, when you say until the build-out is complete, so it's two sets of inspections. So the first thing, you are going to make sure that, number one, whatever it is you want to do, if it's a daycare center, restaurant, liquor establishment, whatever, that you can operate it. And okay, you've gotten your zoning, go ahead. Okay, you now are about to pay for the license, but you're still under construction. So there are two sets of, I'll use a child care facility, for instance. So they're doing all of this work and in order, and they got a building permit, they did everything correct. Now, they have to have the building permit. All of those departments will need to sign off on it, all of those inspectors, when they're building or doing a gut rehab of this child care facility. Okay, so they get a sign off on the building permit. So then they call me or email, okay, now I am ready to move forward to open my child care establishment. Now they had gotten their zoning approval and everything like that. And then I will ask, oh, are you ready for your business license task force inspection? And they'll say, oh, no, we had that already. I'll look in the file. No, you haven't. Well, building department or the electrical guy was just here. No, those were the departments for your building permit, for the build out that you were doing. So is all of that complete? And they will say yes. I said, okay, let's schedule now your business license task force inspection, because some of those same people may come out to the business location, but now they're looking through different lens. The first group, they're looking at it through, okay, did they run this pipe right and that correct, and they're checking all of the fire exits and all of that good stuff, and they will look to see, can this building be occupied? They'll sign off on it. Now you have the licensing task force that will come in. They're going to look, I'm talking about a child care agency for this example, they're going to see, wait a minute, we can't have any babies upstairs. They can only be on the first floor. You know, oh, where are they going? Where are the parents going to drop off the little ones? Oh, where are all of the fire exits? Oh, let's see, how is their ventilation? That's huge in childcare. They really want to make sure that everything is properly ventilated. So they're looking at it through the scope of, can this place, even though they just went through a build out, this group of inspectors are looking at it, can this place be licensed? Can they be licensed as a child care facility? So you have two groups of inspectors. So you have to determine, oh, okay, well, I did a gut or I did a new construction. So you got to make sure that that building permit is signed off before you move forward to actually get a license inspection so you can get your business license and open the doors to begin operating the business.
Thank you. And just an announcement that this webinar is being recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel. And I did post that address in the chat. It is youtube.com/Chicago BACP. We will not be emailing the PowerPoint presentation, but this entire webinar will be available for your viewing. Next question is, are ride-share drivers required to have a business license in Chicago?
You would need to go to our public vehicles division, and because we're just business licensing, and I am not equipped to answer that question, but we do have in the Chicago Department of Business Affairs, we have a public vehicles division that's located at 2350 West Ogden. And also you can go online to Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection /public vehicles and get your question answered appropriately there.
My company is an artist-owned and operated company that has performance, literary, and educational services and programming that relate to advocating and uplifting Black women. What tier would it fall under?
What are you, okay, well, what are you doing? So again, remember, we're regulators. So you need to come to us, and I think it's wonderful. It sounds more like your mission statement is to uplift, artists, and we're uplifting Black women, and I think it sounds beautiful. I need to know what exactly are you doing at the location. So do people come in, they take the classes? If it's if you're providing like how-to classes, for instance, if you're providing painting classes, if you're providing sewing classes, if it's an organization in which you are teaching people some life skills, then that would be a limited business license, unless there are some other types of activities that you're doing at the business location. But when you say it's more like I think maybe I thought I heard it, advocacy group to uplift Black women, that falls on line with your mission/vision statement. When you come to me, I want to know, okay, that sounds wonderful. What are you doing? What business, what activity are you doing at this location? So when the ladies come in, are you teaching them? Then That's what I would need to know. It sounds like that would be a limited business license for art classes.
Next question. I am getting a very hard time to get a driveway release letter for my business license. How can I get help?
Okay, so I know that is done through driveways in room 900 of City Hall. So because that's who issues the driveway release. So what I would do is, I don't know their email, but this is what I'm going to suggest. You call our business, GoBiz, 744-GoBiz, ask to speak to let them know you need to talk to the zoning representative. And then when the zoning representative calls you, you can let them know, oh, I listened to Business Licensing 101, BJ Parker. You can use my name, and I need the contact information for the person in driveways so I can give my driveway release letter, number one. Number two, I don't know if you own the building or if you're renting it from someone who owns the building. It is incumbent on the building owner to make sure his or her driveway fees are up to date. So that's the best way that I think, because I don't have their information, but I know you can go through that channel. You should be able to get some resolution.
What website or what phone number can I call to find out if I have City of Chicago debt?
Well, you can go to the Department of Finance. So that would be cityofchicago.org/finance. And you can let them know that you would like them to do a debt check. So they can let you know if in fact you owe the city any debt.
Will I need a business license for a podcast? I do plan on selling merchandise.
Well, it depends on how you are talking about selling merchandise. If you're doing a podcast, I would say no. But if you're talking about establishing an online store of some sort, or if you're talking about having a commercial location to sell the retail merchandise affiliated with the podcast, then yes, you would need a business license. But if you're just a person that has a podcast, and I don't know if you're selling through the podcast, so I'm not clear on that. So generally speaking, if you got a podcast, of course, you have a podcast. And I mean, you can do a podcast from your phone. But now you're talking about you want to sell merchandise, where are you going to be based to sell that merchandise? So when you come to us, yeah, it's nice you have a podcast, but we're interested in, okay, you said you're selling something. Where are you selling this merchandise? Are you trying to sell it from your home? If you are trying to set up a full retail operation from your home, you can't do that. You want to do something online, show us that, in fact, you're storing the stuff at a storage location. Yes, you can do that you can have an online store. Otherwise, you would need a commercial location if you are going into the business of retailing. So I don't know, I hope I answered your question as it relates to the podcast. So is it that you're going to have the podcast and then people will say, oh, I want that T-shirt? I don't know. So hopefully I answered your question.
And a slight follow-up to that, can you explain a little bit of an overview of home-based business and if I'm selling online / e-commerce?
Okay, so yes. So if you in fact are, again, home-based businesses are permitted in the city of Chicago. Can you do online sales? Yes, you can do online sales from your home. But you must be specific in telling us, because remember I said earlier, the zoning department reviews every single application that comes in. And these are what they're going to look for. Okay, you want to do an online store? Okay, that's fine. Well, where are you storing all of this? Who's going to ship it? Are you going to have people coming in and out of your home? So that's, remember, 10% of your home, not to exceed, I think I said 300 square feet, right, 200 square feet. From a home, 15% of the total square footage from your apartment. So you can, in fact, have an online e-commerce store. But again, when you come to us, we're looking at, okay, how are they going to structure this business? How will people get what you want to sell? So you're going to have maybe some type of website. Who's doing all of the shipping? If you tell me, if you come in and say, oh no, the XYZ company, they're shipping everything for me. We need to see a contract. We need to see a storage lease if, in fact, you're going to be conducting online sales or set up this e-commerce business from your home. So you can't use any kind of a garage or anything like that. So also, I think I said 10% of 200 square feet and 15% of 200 square feet. It's 300 square feet. So is the maximum. So if you have a 3,000-foot home, you cannot use more than 10% of it to conduct your home-based business. So it's, I hope I answered that. So again, you can operate a home-based business. However, you must provide us very specific information. If, oh, I'm going to be selling clothes. Well, are you making the clothes or is it a third-party shipper? We will need to see all of that information, and then you can secure your business license.
Next question is, what kind of licensing do I need for mobile bartending?
Mobile bartending is not allowed in the city of Chicago to date.
And a question came in, am I not allowed to cook at all? Not cook at all, does that include cookies or cupcakes at home?
No cooking, baking, stirring, anything at home for public consumption. Can't do it in the city of Chicago. And here, let me just share, that's why we have, we came up some years ago with that shared kitchen option, because so many people, oh wow, I made great cupcakes. I'm glad. However, if one person, and it only takes one, that get food poisoning, or maybe they had an allergy they didn't even know they had until they had your cupcake. That's why it's imperative that you have a City of Chicago Food Service Sanitation Certificate and you're operating from a commercial kitchen. You cannot control foodborne illnesses or any of that from your home. So you would not receive any kind of approval from the health department if you're operating from your home. It must be from a commercial location.
Okay, thank you so much. And with that final question, we wrap it up for today's webinar. I want to thank BJ once again for giving tons of good information, an overview of business licensing with the City of Chicago. And before we log off, BJ, can you just one more time give information for people wanting to apply or renew for a business license or to schedule an appointment for more one-on-one counseling?
Okay, so if they want to schedule for one-on-one counseling, they can call our GoBiz number, and that's 312-744-GoBiz. So that's the number one thing that you can do. You can schedule an appointment. It will be a phone consultation. It's 312-744-GoBiz. So it's a phone consultation, but we are there to assist you, number one. Number two, you can set up an online, anyone can apply online. It's almost like having an in-person consultation in that we can provide you, and that's www.chicagobusinessdirect.org. And you create a profile, it'll take you 5 minutes, and then you apply for your business license. And everyone on the call, I really appreciate your tuning in, number one. Number two, I wish you tremendous success in launching your entrepreneurial endeavor. And thirdly, know that we are here, the Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection, City of Chicago Small Business Center is here to help you achieve that goal. And stay safe, everyone.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, BJ. Everyone for joining us. Once again, this webinar will be available on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ChicagoBACP. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you.